The first reason that you should work on cultivating an actors community is for perspective. We get into so many emotional situations, and we are tender human beings with relatively thin skin sometimes. So it's really good to have a group of people whose opinions that you trust and who are not emotionally involved in your situation, who can give you a fresh perspective that perhaps is not so hurt. How can I put it other than that? Let me give you an example. I had a conversation the other day with another actress who was saying she saw an actress, friend of hers, at a premiere, and the actress that she saw was having a lot of success at the moment, and she felt that this actress looked straight at her, turned around, and walked away after she had waved to her. Well, feelings are not facts. That's the first thing to remember. And unless you know something for a fact, there is no point, and it's very detrimental to get yourself worked up about it. So having a group of people whose opinions that you respect and who care about you to remind you that, hey, you don't know what was going on with her. She may have just felt she was slighted by someone else, or she may have just gotten really good news or bad news or whatever. She may have to go to the bathroom. You don't know what's going on in her head. So don't assume that you do. So what I just expressed is an unemotional, unbiased perspective on what possibly could have been happening so that she can reframe the situation for herself, because it wasn't serving her to think that she was being slighted by someone for whatever reason. That does not serve you. That doesn't help you. It doesn't make you feel good. It doesn't bring you any further. And in fact, it does damage by damaging your relationship with that person. So for instance, if she hadn't been able to reframe that in her mind, the next time she saw that actress, she may have slighted her. This is a small world. Even if you live in a big city like LA or New York or London, it's still a small world. There are still only so many actors, and you start to see each other again and again and again at these auditions and events and film festivals. In as much as you can, it's really important to maintain good relationships with people. So perspective on anything that can make you feel uncomfortable. Another great way to incorporate perspective from your fellow actors is when you have to decide on your headshots. When we get the preliminary headshots from the photographer, sometimes we get up to 1,000 pictures, and we've got to go through these. These are great photographers, so most of the pictures are pretty damn good. And then you've got to go through them and figure out which ones actually represent you and your brand the best. And this can be really difficult to do that for yourself. It's difficult to see yourself without all the inner emotions and inner ideas and wishes, etc., etc. For instance, just take me. I mean, when I get my pictures back, I tend to choose those pictures where I think I look the best. And that's, yeah. I'm not proud of it, okay? I'm not proud of it. But it is how it is. I don't like to look bad, and there you go. And I don't think I'm alone in this. But pictures where I look the best may not be serving me. They may not be representing my brand or even how I actually look. So just assuming that your pictures do represent how you look, still, it doesn't have to be your most flattering angle. We are moving human beings on film. And so it's important to get more than one angle, more than, as in Germany, they call it your chocolate side. So don't just show your chocolate side. Another thing is which pictures best represent who you are, the essence that you portray, the essence that you go through the world with. We are all these multifaceted diamonds, and it really just depends which facet you polish and bring out to the light. So it's important to know which facet you want to polish and bring out to the light, but it's also important to know which are the innate facets, the innate essences that you bring to the table. And again, they may not always align with what you want. So it's important to get that outside perspective from colleagues whose opinions you know and trust, who are being honest with you about what your essence is. Then you know how to use it. Let me give you another really good example for this one. You know, Steve Buscemi, right? Steve Buscemi is an extremely successful actor. I don't think anybody could deny that. And yet he always plays a loser. So I don't know what he's done to become copacetic with that outside view of him and how he's always cast and who he actually is as a man. And maybe he's just like, fuck it, I don't care. It serves me. I know I'm not a loser. And, you know, if that's how I come across, well, whatever. I think it's important to marry the two or make friends with the two. Let's put it that way. And other actors can really help you on your journey to making friends with your internal viewpoint of how you would like to come across and with the external viewpoint of how you do come across. Another obvious thing is helping you come up with the appropriate snippets out of your scenes to use for your show reel. Again, it's really hard to get that outside perspective when you are very much inside as the actor. You want to make sure that you're showing a large range with your show reel. And this is the other thing. Actors, we know what a good headshot is. We know what needs to be shown. We're not always good at knowing it with ourselves, but we can definitely identify that in someone else. And the same goes for show reels. So this is a skill, and make use of this. And if somebody does it for you, definitely offer to do it back for them and make yourself available for the group so that it's not just a one-sided thing.